So let's talk about the hierarchy of Six Sigma belts. This is a concept that was initiated during the development of the Six Sigma methodology. The brainfather of Six Sigma was Bill Smith, who was working at Motorola in the 1980s. And this person, together with the team he was working in developing the methodology, they came up with the concept of the belts. So just like, in the Far East, we have the martial arts and we have a belts classification system indicating experience and expertise in martial arts. We use the concept in Six Sigma in order to indicate different levels of knowledge, experience, and expertise in Six Sigma. Looking at the figure from bottom up, we can see that you may have the so-called white belts. So in some organizations, this is an introductory training received by a number of personnel just to make them familiar with the very basics of Six Sigma or Lean Six Sigma. Then we have the yellow belts who receive specific training to acquire a basic understanding of Lean Six Sigma principles, tools, and techniques. Yellow belts typically participate as team members in green belt projects and black belt projects. We have the green belts that typically undertake Six Sigma projects that are narrow in scope and pretty much short in duration. But they may also act as team members in black belt projects. We have the black belts, and these are the actual project managers in Six Sigma projects. So they undertake the most important mission-critical, cross-functional process improvement projects, supported by green belts and yellow belts. And finally, we have the master black belts. And this is the highest denomination in the belts hierarchy. So it is typically a very experienced black belt that has worked as project manager for a number of years. And typically, he's acting more like a Six Sigma deployment lead, because he or she has the required knowledge and expertise to perform this role. Now, looking at the hierarchy, the belts can range between white belts and master black belts. What we see is that on the top of the hierarchy, we have the project champion. And earlier in our course, I explained what the role of the champion is. So, candidate Six Sigma practitioners striving to become certified to a specific belt level must follow a hierarchical process. And this includes a training path. So they have to complete a course. They have to pass an exam, and this makes them certified Six Sigma practitioners. And after they will practice for a number of months or years, then they become qualified Six Sigma or Lean Six Sigma practitioners. So here we have a slightly different view. So we go from white belts all the way to the master black belts, and this completes the belts hierarchy. So white belts is associated with awareness about the process. Yellow belts are subject matter experts. They have a basic understanding of key Six Sigma tools, techniques, and the overall methodology and philosophy. Green belts, they act as either small-scale project managers, or they may act as team members in black belt projects. And black belts are full-time technical experts that undertake cross-functional projects that are critical to the mission of the organization. Master black belts, these are experienced black belts that have worked on Six Sigma projects for a number of years. So this role adds depth and is concerned with cultural change. In other words, helping the Six Sigma deployment lead, or they are the Six Sigma deployment lead, that will change the culture within the organization in terms of start thinking in a systematic way, as the Six Sigma methodology dictates. And finally, we have the role of the champion, which acts as a political force and also has a lot of influence in the business environment by communicating with senior stakeholders. So, to summarize the hierarchy of Six Sigma belts, Lean Six Sigma Yellow Belt is considered as a team player, as a team member. If we look at the Green Belt, it is the first level of a true Six Sigma practitioner. And as I mentioned, they undertake and they manage projects that are narrow in scope and short in duration. We have the Lean Six Sigma black belts that they assume leadership roles. They typically run projects that are cross-functional, which means they cut across several functional areas in an organization, but they're also mission critical. So black belts are typically sponsored by board-level executives. We have the Lean Six Sigma Master Black Belt, which acts as a change agent. As I mentioned earlier, it is an accomplished black belt with at least a couple of years of experience working full-time in Six Sigma projects. And this completes the hierarchy of Six Sigma belts. So in the bottom, you can see what is included within each belt classification. For example, yellow belts includes white belts. This means that somebody has to complete white belt training, which is very elementary training in Six Sigma, before they progress to the yellow belt. Somebody has to complete the yellow belt training before they progress to the green belt training, etc. So if we take a look at the Six Sigma support framework, these represent a typical project environment and infrastructure. As we can see, there are three parts. The part on the right is about technical advice and guidance. And as we can see, it comprises of black belts and master black belts. So, for example, if a green belt is running a project and he needs technical support or technical advice, they can refer to a black belt. The second element is the improvement project team. So in this case, we see that we have a green belt managing a small scale, narrow scope, and short duration type of project. And this project manager is supported by yellow belts and, in some cases, white belts. And we also have the champion network. So the concept of this type of network is within the organization, at each organizational level, we should have at least one champion. This means that we have to have a board level champion, which is typically acting as the Six Sigma deployment lead. We should have one champion at each department within the organization. And finally, we have different roles, just like department manager, champion, and project sponsor. So within this network, people collaborate, they exchange ideas, and depending on the criticality of a project, this has to be sponsored at the correct organizational level. For example, Six Sigma Black Belt projects are typically sponsored by a board-level champion. And of course, there must be informal but rich communication between these three groups. This is an example of a typical training roadmap. So we see that we have to complete the Six Sigma Yellow Belt training and pass the exam in order to become certified Yellow Belts. And after this, we have to engage in a number of projects in order to become qualified practitioners. So certified means that we attended formal training and we passed an exam. Qualified means that we have put the knowledge into practice over a period of time by participating in a number of projects. The next level is the Six Sigma Green Belt. Again, first we become certified and then we become qualified. And once we have completed these levels of training, we can progress to the Six Sigma Black Belt and finally to the Six Sigma Master Black Belts.